Well, it's my pleasure to be here to introduce our next presenter, Debbie Dachinger. Debbie is a certified shamanic energy healer and host of the award-winning Dare to Dream podcast, where she explores extraterrestrial channeling, UFOs, and shamanism. She's been showcased on the covers of magazines like My Authentic Life, Art, Life as Art, and featured in documentary Rising Above the Myths of Aging, alongside legends with Dr. Bruce Lipton. Debbie is the lead singer of Lions of Lyra, performing in 5 languages. Wow. She is also a dynamic keynote speaker at the events like Sedona Channel Panel, Galactic Origins Cruise, and World Congress Ufology event. She's been seen on hundreds of media appearances, including several appearances on Gaia TV, iHeartRadio, and Coast to Coast Radio. Debbie is the author of multiple international best-selling books, awarded the Podcaster Icon of Influence, Broadcasting Industry Lifetime Achievement Award, plus successful achievements from Voices of Women Worldwide. Prepare to explore the ancient connection between shamans and extraterrestrials as Debbie leads a powerful shamanic activation. And I just want to add a little personal. She is a beautiful, beautiful, lovely person. She is a connector. She create space for everybody to come in and be themselves and showcase their extraordinary self. So I want to welcome my friend, Debbie Dachinger.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. First thing, 10 a.m. isn't really that early, but for those of us who are up very late dancing or otherwise, maybe. And that was certainly me. And I just want you to know, if you look up the name Tricia McCannon in Babbel or Google Translate under French, it's actually Debbie Dachinger. So for those of you who thought you were coming to see Tricia McCannon, she was sick, so she had to cancel, and I am here with you today. Yay. I'm excited for everything that we're going to experience because this is a really big year. And I imagine if you've been here since Friday or since Saturday, you're already hearing, whoa, 2025, big year, lots of changes. So we're going to talk some about that. And I'm going to give you some medicine that you can take with you. That's the most important thing, that what you learn here today doesn't leave here. And you separate. This is tools that you can work with like this in a moment, no matter where you are. And also I'll be taking you through some experiences to create some shifts. So healing with shamanic animal medicine and star beings for the new year. The power of animal medicine in shamanic healing is physical, spiritual essence, and the wisdom of the animals they come from. Each animal has its own unique medicine, which can be accessed through shamanic journeying, meditation, or rituals. Here's what's amazing about animals. They don't come from here. None of them. They are star beings. So we think of ourselves, and this is, our biggest issue here on Earth today with humanity, is that we have forgotten that we are connected to the entire web of life, including the cosmos, including the animals, including the Earth. We are not, and we never have been, but that's our greatest wound, is separation. So in bringing all of that back together and reweaving that is to remember that the animals are star beings. These beautiful beings, they may not speak English, but they definitely speak their own language of wisdom, and they have great purpose here on Earth. There's planets that have dogs, there's planets that have bears, there's planets that have octopus, sharks, amphibious beings like Sirius B. There are planets that any animal you can conceive of actually exists. You already know about the reptilians. And so essentially we're talking about a humanoid type body with a head, essentially, that is different. Sometimes body parts are different on these other planets. But they do come here, and so it's so important to engage with them with respect, with kindness, and with curiosity. Who are they? Why are they? We all have a spirit animal. Every single one of us. It's okay if you don't know what it is. I didn't once upon a time. And it's a process to find out. Some of us will have a spontaneous understanding. I always say to people when I work with them, please be surprised, because we have these preconceived notions like, oh, you know, I love crows. It's gotta be a crow. Or whatever, fill in the blank of what your animal is, and it must be that animal because I have this affinity for the animal. But what's really beautiful is when you're shocked to find out. I was working with a woman, and she, a very high-functioning person, a very beautiful person, and she had been dragging along and feeling just the last remnants of these issues she has basically with giving up her power. It started with sexual abuse when she was young, and it carried on in different ways. You know, when we don't heal the one wound, it shows up in different places in our lives, even though it doesn't seem to be directly related. And she felt really tired of this wound and of carrying this forward. So she wanted to do some shamanic work and see what we could clean up for her. And I decided a soul retrieval. Now, when I say I decided, to be very clear, I'm a hollow bone. When I work with anyone, and when I work with you today, I know nothing of myself, nothing. And that's the most beautiful 0 point to be at when we work with one another. If I come in with preconceived notions, and believe me, I get downloads about people, but I also need to put those aside. You know, thank you very much for sharing, because I have a lineage that works through me, and I allow the shamanic lineage to come through so that when I work with somebody, the wisdom, the direction happens. So doing a soul retrieval is a long process. It's at least 2 hours with somebody, and in it, many things happen, including that I reclaim the part of the soul that got traumatized and then separated from the person. That was the work we were doing. And then at the very end, an animal will reveal itself. Remember, I said, be surprised. So I was asking for her animal to come forward because to complete the process of a soul retrieval, somebody needs their benefactor. They need their mentor and their guide, their protector, literally protector. And I saw a giraffe. I was like, what? Whoa. Hollow bone, right? So after that initial reaction, I said, come, we're coming back for this person. And we always have an overview after the process, so I can share with the person. There's a lot that goes on even after to help them integrate. It's very powerful. And in the end, I let her know about the giraffe, and she was surprised too, because she had zero connection outside of maybe seeing one at a zoo or on a YouTube video. And so we went deep into the shamanic wisdom of the giraffe. So consider what a giraffe looks like and its incredible height. What can it see that we can't? Everything, right? It is so tall. It has such an extraordinary neck. First of all, it can nourish itself and take care of itself. It can reach all the trees and the branches and the leaves. And also, the giraffe can see so far and wide that if danger is coming, it knows immediately. And that's what she needed as a protector, that nobody could do that to her ever again on any level. She surrendered so much to this that she went out. It was really cute. She was buying giraffe socks and, giraffe pin, and just to keep reminding herself, like, she is here for me, and I'm okay going forward. So her soul, this piece got reconnected that had been traumatized during the sexual abuse and had been fortified over and over again by all these other issues, and then got reconnected to who she was. She was whole, and then she came back also with this beautiful protector and other gifts. My story is different. I was working with a woman named Rosalba in my town, and I would meet her once a week up in the mountains, literally in the forest. I would bring my dog, and she loved my dog, and my dog loved her. My dog loves coming to these healing things, and she would call my dog Shaman Shelby. So my dog was actively participating in all of these sessions. In our final session, She wanted me to go into a cave. Of course, I'm in a very deep trance that she is guiding me through. And she has me go into a cave. And in this cave, there are very particular things I was supposed to be experiencing and getting and seeing. And this was all happening. And at some point, I remember where I was facing in the cave and what was happening. And I felt this enormous presence to my right. And I turned to my right in the trance, and I looked all the way up, and there was a huge brown bear on its back feet, roaring over me. That could have been terrifying. It was certainly letting me know its power. But I wasn't afraid at all, because the energy it was giving me was actually very comforting and connecting. And the bear got down on its four legs, and this woman, Rosalba, has no idea what's going on. She's still talking me through the experience. And when it's done, she says, okay, now I want you to turn around and exit out the cave. And I am about to exit out the cave, and I turn around to this enormous brown bear, and I say, okay, it was beautiful meeting you. I need to leave. And the bear says, I'm never leaving your side. Bear comes out of the cave with me. When Rosalba brings me back, she always asks, tell me what happened here, 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 because shamanically she wove it together so that we understood exactly what was going on, what the medicine was, what the gifts were. And I explained everything, and she gave me the feedback, and I said, and you need to know something happened. It was very unexpected. I described this brown bear and the experience, and Rosalba said, wow. We were really not headed there today, but you were just gifted with your spirit animal. And I want you to go back and I want you to research a bear. And I was very much in that space of saying, a lion. A lion makes sense. A dragon. I had all these things that I felt really connected to. And why a frickin' brown bear? And so I go back, as we all should, and look up the medicine of an animal. And I was really, to my core, stunned. This bear is everything I wish I had when I was a child. It is the most fierce protector you could imagine. You know what a mama bear does if somebody gets near its cub. Right? You've heard the stories. You've seen the videos. You don't want to be that person. And to think I had that level of ferocity protecting me, that level of loyalty, loving me, never, never leaving my side. And so I was so deeply moved by the bear that immediately I surrendered. And I do a lot of work today with the bear. I just will have you know, because people ask me, is it only one animal? What is that like? And for all of us, there will be different medicine, as you'll experience today, that will come into your life at different times for different reasons. But it's like that they're here for a season and a reason, and then when their job is complete, they will exit. Also, at any time, you can call them in and say, I need this medicine right now. Here's what's happening. Fortify me, show me, guide me. We can at any time even track with an animal and ask it for its wisdom. And if we really get quiet, it's amazing what they'll tell us. And so the bear is my animal. And now I just adore it. And something that's very interesting is, then you piece things together. You start to reflect, and I realize, oh, this is so interesting. Years ago, I went camping with my partner. It was really hot. And I remember feeling very uncomfortable from all the heat, the California heat, being in the mountains, and I was just saying, all I want to do is jump in a river. I know it's going to be really cold, but I just want to take off my clothes and jump in a river and feel refreshed. So we drove, and then we found what looked like a very private spot. He pulled over. We got out of the car, we crossed the street, we scrambled down all these rocks to the river. I took off my shoes and I was unrobing, and all of a sudden I heard a noise. And I looked over, and there was a teenage brown bear. And I was scared because I thought, if Mama's coming right after this bear, and I'm naked. This is pretty bad. And so I know who's going to win. And so I very quickly gathered what I had put down, and I said, come on, come on. And it was amazing because this bear walked very close and then just turned and went right to the river, dove in the river on the most beautiful thing because they're huge. I don't even know how much this bear weighed, gliding through the river. That's all he wanted to do. And I thought about that after the bear became my totem animal. Oh, yeah. There was something that happened that precipitated all of this to let me know in advance, I'm going to show you this young one before you get the full-grown male. So we all have these clues, by the way, that happen. There's things and there's ways that they visit us. So I want to start. Where do I want to start? Because I'm getting a different message. But we are going to go to the Lama, and I am going to teach you the Lama medicine. But I do want to tell you a little bit about myself and why me, why here, why am I doing this? Probably not the thing I anticipated I'd be doing because I was a professional actress and singer for most of my life. I had a big event that happened internally. All of a sudden, that was very shocking because that's all I'd ever done. And then I got into media. I have been doing radio and podcast for over 17 years. I do the Dare to Dream show where we talk about spirituality and channeling and extraterrestrials and all of that. And so, yes, by the way, very good to turn off your phones, please, because we will be doing some processes, and I want to make sure. I know it's annoying when people's phones go off and you're deep in a process, so make sure your phone is on stun. Thank you. So many rebirths for my life and for my career, and I've had a lot of skepticism, even as a spiritual person, a lot of stuff I haven't believed. And I feel like the universe is very loving because nothing was ever pushed on me, but I had I'm a strong person. So if I'm like, it's like that. And I was like that about past life regressions. I didn't care for them because different people had tried, and when they tried to put me under, all I saw was panic. They were like, what do you see on your feet? Where are you? I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be in the desert. Maybe I'm supposed to be wearing sandals. And I was so here, I had to stop the process and say, I'm really sorry, but we have to end the session. So that was a thing. And then if people tried to tell me, oh, I was in Egypt and this has, like, yeah. Not my jam. The other thing, as a deeply spiritual person, is UFOs and ETs. And I really thought, oh my God, it was such an eye roller. It's difficult. And there were people I really believed in who would send me things or texts, and I just couldn't respond, I always think gracious is the best way out of those things. And even, I'm going to say what's so funny, if you guys know who Robert Parala is, who's here, years ago, I don't even know, so long ago, 12, 13 years ago, he was on my radio show, and he was a big to-do at that time around the UFO stuff. We had a great conversation on the show, and then when the show was done, when we were private, he said, hey, there's this thing called Contact in the Desert. I'd love you to come. You can come and be my guest, and they talk about UFOs, and and so I just said, oh, I'm so busy. I can't go. I don't have time. And I love that he's here because he's a part of my story of where I used to be. So another thing I had a lot of judgment about was plant medicine. I thought, look, let's be clear and very transparent. I had a big life when I was young, right? I was an experimenter of just about everything. And so that was who I was. But then I got into another phase in my life where lots got, for very mindful reasons, cleaned up. And so I wasn't doing that, interested in that. And then I had a podcaster reach out and say, hey, we're all going to Costa Rica. We want to do ayahuasca. Why don't you come? I'm like, same, very gracious. Oh, I can't. I'm so busy at that time. But over my head, are you like, what the? Who does that? Who does that that's drugs, right? And it's so interesting how the universe works, because certainly in my life, when it's meant to be, it's going to come back to me. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. I was on the path of no when literally all of a sudden I got this feeling so powerful, and I always honor those that said from grandmother ayahuasca, I want you to come sit with me. Okay. And from that moment on, the synchronicities were beyond. I didn't even have to ask, please give me a yes. The synchronicities were so, so powerful. And that is exactly what I did. I found a way to drink medicine. First time was very lovely, and I remember a lot of things that happened, a lot of healings. And then I went out of the country, and I went to a beautiful place that will serve ayahuasca 4 nights in a row. So it's ayahuasca, 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 all from different countries, and the last night is yahe, which is a purgative. And don't worry, I had panic attacks every night before drinking. It was scary. Even if I drank the night before, I was just like, ah. And then I get on the medicine, and all I can tell you is, for me, it is the most natural place to be. It's very interesting. And so the first night I'm drinking, and all of a sudden, with everything else going on, trauma being healed, sacred geometry, yes, past lives being revealed, all of a sudden, the divine comes. She's a very powerful feminine energy. And she says to me, Debbie, you're a shaman, you're a healer, and you're a priestess. And I did what anybody would do when they receive amazing information like that. I said, no, I'm not. What in the world are you talking about? I'm not a healer. I know I have a lot of gifts, but those are like my friends. Those are the people who come on my radio show. Shaman? Are you kidding? You want me to give you the etymology of shaman? I mean, first of all, it's from Siberia, and it means one who knows, saman. And it's 2.5 million years old, and the first shamans were women. They were oracles. And I could go on, I could do a whole speech just on shamanism. And I know what it takes, the dedicated practice and the near-death experiences and the incredible initiatory process. And I'm looking at myself, this white woman from California, and I'm like, I can't claim that. But you know, the divine is cool, because she didn't need me to believe, she needed me to hear her. And that's exactly what happened. And every single night she came, night after night after night, same thing, showed me different aspects of myself. And the outcome of all of that is that I came back to the States incredibly confused. What do I do with this information? And a dear friend of mine said, let me gift you with some sessions. Let's do some regressions. And he was very successful, because it wasn't what I described earlier that hadn't worked. And first time he put me under, I saw myself as a male Native American living. I don't know if it was this country, but I know exactly where, I still can see it perfectly and experience that really very isolated and very peaceful life, very much at one with the land and the animals and the sky. And then the second time he put me under, I saw myself over 7 feet tall, very skinny. No humans are that skinny. And she was the most poised and the most magnificent. She created with a power I'd never seen before. And I spent what felt like the whole day with her. She gave me her name. And before I left, I was very curious, but full of assumptions about how she was, who she was. And I asked her, how does she create like that? How does she manifest? And again, tons of assumptions. She shook her head and raised her finger and telepathically said, I'm not from here. I may be Mayan, but I'm from another galaxy. And I came out of that experience and went, oh my, this stuff is real. I'm a part of it. That's an aspect of me. That's a multidimensional piece of who I've been galactically. this is incredible. And so just like with the ayahuasca, when that happened, I got so curious. All I wanted to do was be edified. Give me information, give me information. I was insatiable to start to understand the ET UFO world. And then I thought, well, the shamanism thing, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what to do with this information. I'm an aggregator, I'm a journalist. The only thing I knew to do was get information, learn. I knew I wasn't going to suddenly go pop, I'm a healer. That's not going to work in my world. I would be so uncomfortable. And so I started on the path working, in my estimation, with some of the greatest shamans on the planet. I was very fortunate, one after another, after another, after another. Told you about Rosalba in the woods, and then I went on to Dr. Alberto Villoldo, then I went on to Puma Freddy Quispe Singona, then I went on to Don Oscar Miro Quezada, and so it goes. My lineage for today is very strongly in the Peruvian Quechua lineage, high up in the Andes, ancient. And by the way, this is where a lot of the indigenous information is coming into the West right now. So we have to thank them that no matter what we did to them and what the Spanish did to them, that in their beautiful wisdom, knowing who they are and why they're really here to help all of us, that they allow this wisdom, and even ayahuasca, to come down into this world to help heal us. And that's where my story goes, and it became grander and grander from the shamanic information that I was just so hungry to receive. We had to practice in many of these programs, and in practicing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yes, I was getting information, but I will tell you, just even in the first program, by the time it was done years ago, people were saying to me, I can't even believe who you are right now. You've changed so much. And so I began to really feel that in my life. And then I began to have these inquisitive things like downloads about shamans and extraterrestrials. There's something there. And I began to unearth them and go into these projects. And some of the most amazing ET channelers that we know today and are here today agreed to be part of projects that I did, making movies. And I was finding out incredible information that this beautiful tie-in. And so today I run groups, I do shamanic healing groups, online mostly. Some of them are going to start to be in Los Angeles because we've got a back house that's a healing temple. It is for rent, but also I use it. I do music, as Maria explained in the intro, and then also these shamanic healing experiences. So I love building community. I think it's really important we all find our tribe, our place to connect, our place to relax, know we've got a home and a place we can talk about all of this. So let's move into the animal spirit medicine. I love all of these animals, by the way. They're dear to me and they've changed my life. This first animal is the llama. In Quechua, it's alpacay. And also you might know, if you speak Spanish, llama. So where did this, I think it's a gorgeous animal. I mean, every woman wants eyelashes like a llama, right? They get the extensions like, make me look like a llama or a camel, please. They're stunning animals. And this beautiful animal, the llama, got its name because it lived in Peru. It was one of the few animals, because of its footing, that could actually climb high up in the Andes and not topple over. It's very difficult terrain. And so it always had, it's a beast of burden, so to speak, but it's also very much a part of everyone's family. And back in the day, they would use it for everything, for its wool, for its skin, for its meat, for its bones, to make instruments. And when the Spanish came to colonize Peru, very nice way to say what they actually did. When the Spanish came, they walked around and they saw this animal they had never seen before in their land. And they said, ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? Meaning, what is its name? What is its name? And the Peruvians said, like they didn't have a name for it, so they said, llama, llama, llama. And that's how it got its name. So its name is name. And the llama is so interesting because it helps the people. It's part of their family. They're considered, I'll say like alpakai, the very name has Paco in it. And Paco is also a shaman. So they're known as a high priest and a high priestess. They're very revered. And they do carry burdens up and down and through town. However, they will only carry 22 kilos, period, which is basically 44 pounds. If you try to put a feather, a breath, a penny, Peruvian money, anything on it more than 22 kilos, it won't move. You could push it, you could pull it, you could coerce it, you could try to, like a dog, give it a treat so it'll move forward. It won't move. Why? Because a yama has boundaries. A no means no. This much means this much. No more means no more. So where in your life do you need to fortify your boundaries? Where in your life are you bleeding over? Where in your life are you overgiving? Because a yama is all about unconditional love and service. That's what it provides. And yet, it has a line that says, yes, I'm this. I'm loving, I'm harmonious, I'm here for you, and I also am commanding respect, because no means no, no more. So I am earnestly asking you to reflect right now, where in your life, in your work, in your love, in your health, in your family, everything, are you overgiving, not enforcing, not self-caring, and breaking your own trust and respect? Because we all know, we say, oh, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to eat that anymore. I'm not going to engage with that anymore. I'm not going, whatever it is. For me, the big lesson around boundaries was about having fun. I can work. How do I get everything done? People are like, how, you're so busy. How do you get everything done? Because I can work. You know, somebody says, you know, come do this, come speak here. I'm going to have the PowerPoint, that everything you need, I get in and on time. These are beautiful qualities. I love these qualities, and I think people love them in me because not everybody's like that. But there's also that aspect of pushing away. When is enough enough? And I had to look at, I'm breaking my own self-trust over and over, because I know the truth, I know what I need, and I know who the hell cares about the work, really, ultimately. How long do we all have on this planet? I love laughing. I love having fun. I love connecting. I love that you're all here with me right now. Taking your time to do this, it means something. So I had to get to a place in my work where I literally could look at the time and say, I know, baby. I know that list has not been gotten to. I get it. But you know, you did enough. And it's time to push away. And I had to find ways, actually, to transition. Some of them were my dogs. Let's just go hang out with the dogs and have fun and get love, you know? So that was my boundary, and I really ask you to look at your boundaries. And with every one of these animals, and there's only going to be 3 that I'm going to talk you through, I am going to play some beautiful music, some flute music, to take you through an experience. And so I ask you to uncross your hands. And I ask you to uncross your feet, because you want your energetic body to be fully open to an experience. And just start taking some deep breaths. Close your eyes. And just be here now. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, except be here for yourself in this experience. And as you breathe deeply, feel your feet rooted deeply into the ground. light coming down through your crown chakra, going through your body as a channel deep into the ground. Continue with your deep breaths, allowing yourself to be surprised today, and thinking about, feeling about, sensing, allowing information to come to you. Where in your life do you need to start providing unconditional service? Something you're aware of or not. And you find yourself in a meadow with the Apus, the sacred mountains, the Andes high above you, Apu Misti. And you hear some noises, a bit like a hoof, coming from the bottom of the mountain towards you. And it's the beautiful alpakai, the llama. And she comes closer and closer to you and is telepathically communicating, I am here to give you medicine. Thank you for calling me in and being with me today. Tell me, share with me, where is it you need to be of service and have not? And what does that service look like, feel like? And share now with the Yama what you know to be true. And once you've shared this, let the Yama give you some of its wisdom about this service that you are aligned to do. Be surprised and receive. And at this point, make a commitment with the Yama that you will show up to be of service in this way that you are called, knowing that you have the salt and the pepper and the power to make it come true. And you have the Yama by your side as wisdom is medicine, leading you on the way, supporting you. And now, feel inside for that truth you really prefer not to see, and allow it to come up. What boundaries are you crossing? What trust and respect are you breaking for yourself? What do you know needs to happen, but you've been too afraid, too procrastinating, too doubtful to actually do something about it, even though your spirit is crying for it? Because it will change your life in the best way. Let the Yama know right now what that is, because your truth is safe with the Yama. Now the Yama comes to you and puts its forehead, its third eye, to your third eye, and it transmits wisdom to you, showing you the way. The only complication, my child, is in your head about ending this behavior that gets in your way, sabotages your greatest joy, convinces you other than the truth you know to be truth of what's to be done. With great love, my child, I'm going to tell you, show you what it looks like and what you are being asked to do and begged to heal. Listen. And Yama assures you, even in ending something in the kindest, most gracious way, most benevolent way, because that's what's needed on the planet, you will be fortified. All the unseen friends and animals know and are there for you to conclude this finally, put it to rest, and allow who you are meant to be fully to come into fruition. For without ending that, you cannot be who you came here to be. And the Yama's going to give you a gift so that any time this might come up, maybe we call it a test, but not really. It's just reality. Until it's not. The Yama's going to give you a gift and is going to transmit that gift into your solar plexus, your power center, so that you are empowered, emboldened, and blazed to do for you what you could not do before. Receive it. Thank you. And so with that, the Yama starts to take off. It has work to do, unconditional service, knowing it will only carry so much. And you turn around with gratitude and reverence, knowing that at any time you can bring Yama medicine into your life when you need it, desire it, or require it. And with that, I welcome you back. Just wiggle your fingers and toes, massage your face. Take a beautiful deep breath and be here now. That Yama is always with you. Good journey? Nice. So at any time in the future, just know, what does Alpakai ask us? What areas in your life are out of balance? Are you practicing self-care? Have you taken on too much? In what ways do you overgive of yourself and your service? So we want to use Alpakai wisdom to balance our life and be in service, both. The next animal, if you will, reptile, that we're going to talk about is the snake. And what a perfect time to talk about snake medicine, because we just started the Chinese New Year, the year of the yin wooden snake. Powerful. And I want you all to receive the snake because we will need snake medicine in the year of the snake. The number 2025 that we are in right now, 2025, is a number 9. So number 9 means lots of things in numerology. I have it somewhere in my chart. I'm born the 27th of June, so I have a 9 in there. And what I know, big shoulders, because it means lots of endings. That means we're going to see a lot of endings on the global front and stage. We're going to see it on the collective stage, and we're going to see it in our own lives. The beautiful, I know that can be a little scary. Oh no, things changing, ending, what does that mean? I think it's great news. I think we're at the precipice of this anyway. We're going to see things in government and otherwise, just things that were supposed to be covert and we weren't supposed to know about. Ta-da! They're going to be revealed, and we will get to see them and make new choices about them. And same in our life. So perfect to follow the Yama medicine, the alpakai, with the serpent. And we call the earth serpent Sachamama. The water serpent is Yachamama. And serpent teaches us transcend our limitations, move forward in life. So we'll go more deeply into that. Serpent medicine is so beautiful. And I just want to say to people, because we are going to work with a snake, to understand, a snake isn't ever after us. Well, maybe like a boa anaconda. I might say, yeah, I wouldn't want to cross paths. But in general, a snake, if you're hiking, for instance, is not a being that is saying, oh, human teeth. It doesn't care. But it cares if you scare it or threaten it. That's different. Then it will be fierce with you, and that's another situation we don't want to be in. So, of course, when you're hiking, be careful. But do understand there, because people have said in my classes, I'm really scared, men and women, I'm scared of snakes. Cool, I was too. But I have learned to love snake medicine because of what it brought into my life. So think about a snake. A snake crawls on its belly. It doesn't have limbs like the other animals to get around. It uses the very force of volition of its body. Snake shows up in so many places in our life, maybe we're not always conscious of the messages we're getting, because snake is divine feminine energy, and it is one of the most powerful healers. When you go to see a doctor, a chiropractor, you will often see on their sign there is a post or a staff, and there's 2 snakes, the caduceus, wrapping around up to the top, with the snake heads facing each other. If anybody here has ever practiced sacred sexuality, tantra, other methods, in sacred sexuality, you bring in the energy from beyond the root, and when you're bringing it up through the spine, the same thing as the snake comes until there is that beautiful explosion that you receive. What I do actually in sacred sexuality is I like when I get here, it just works for me. I prefer to bring in the cosmos at that moment. It's a bigger, more expansive experience. And so it is a great healer, and it is really needed right now. Here's what's amazing about snake in its wisdom. The snake will find a rock, and it will come up to the rock with its face, and it'll keep pushing its face against a rock until it creates a tear. And once the snake creates a tear, it keeps wriggling and wriggling and wriggling and wriggling until, and you may have seen it if you're a hiker or spend time out in the wild, you will see an entire snake skin left behind in one piece. And the snake sheds its skin in one piece. And so before you all came here, I opened sacred space so that we are literally in a sacred container right now, a very shamanic space. And the first thing I do before you get here is I open 4 directions, including the earth and the sky and the cosmos. And when I start to the south, which is here. And I say, Sachamama, great serpent, wrap your coil of light around us. Teach us how to shed our past the way you shed your skin. Teach us how to walk the beauty way, belly to belly with the earth. Aho. And so the snake wisdom teaches us 2 things. Where do we need to heal? What isn't being addressed? Physically, emotionally, spiritually, we've all got it. We're here to evolve. So think about that so you can bring that into your experience. And it's good to go for the big stuff. Bring it in. The other thing about snake is, what are your old stories? What's the old belief? What's the old experience? You're like, oh, I'm dragging this around, repeating it over and over again, and I think it's all of them, but really, I'm the common denominator in the party. What is this old story you need to shed to finally move forward, to finally transcend? We are so powerful and magnificent. We are full of choice. And this power of choice is profound. That's all it takes. I'm making a new choice, and I am committed to that choice. So think right now, what is your freaking old story? Old belief, old experience, old pattern. Could be around work, could be around love, could be around health, could be around group situations, family stuff, where we think, oh, I know, these people make me crazy, but I'm going to go spend time with them, and I know, I'm on the spiritual path. It's going to be so much different this time, because I'm bringing me. And you show up, and they're the same, and then you're triggered, and it's like, okay, when might I get that they're actually not going to change? They're on their own path, evolving in their own way. I'm on my path, and maybe I could just accept exactly who they are, love them for all the choices that are fascinating, and maybe they think my choices are fascinating too. And just, cool, I chose you, so let's hang. But I'm going to use a little yama medicine because I may be able to hang for that long. And then I'm going to go on my way. And then it's much more peaceful. So, what are your old stories that you're carrying around? Sacha Mama actually really wants to know, because she is here to work with you. And so, now that you know, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. We're going to put the music back on. And uncross your feet and your hands. Taking deep breaths and allowing yourself to surrender to the experience. And as you breathe deeply and allow yourself to be fully immersed in whatever wisdom is revealed, be surprised. Allow yourself to not know, because everything you knew got you where you are right now. Not knowing is your greatest gift. Be a hollow bone. And find yourself in a jungle. Warm and humid, but feeling good on the skin. And allow yourself to walk through this beautiful jungle with all the plants and the flora and the fauna. And in this experience, you hear a rustle, a slither. And out from some low plants on the ground comes the snake. Knowing you are here, safe to you, because the snake has brought you its wisdom. It has come to be with you. And allow, with great protection and safety, with great knowing for the snake, the serpent, Sacha Mama, to come towards you. Gently get on the ground to be at the same level as the snake. Look in its beautiful, wise eyes. And the snake lets you know, I am here for you. I will be your guardian this year, all year, until next February. And then you can work with me at any time, but right now, you have something you're pulling along A snake never pulls along, it lets go. It releases in one fell swoop. I am here to show you that. But first, tell me, what's your story? What doesn't work? What are you pulling forward that's a skin so old you've grown out of it and it hurts? Tell the snake as it listens. And let it know what it's like to be in that story. Doesn't matter if you know how, when, why. What does it feel like to be you and the impact? And Snake will do a ceremonial dance around you, wrapping its coils of light around your lower body, not touching you, but encircling you to create sacred, divine feminine, sacred sexuality, healing energy of the highest order. And it completes its rotation and comes up in front of you again, looking deeply, hypnotically into your eyes. And Snake will tell you how to release this old skin that no longer serves you right now. Listen. Snake shows you a picture of what it looks like, because it's beautiful to be without this. No matter why you stop yourself or believe otherwise, really on the other side is freedom, is you, your full life. And now let Snake tell you how to implement this, how to make this transition all at once, cleanly, boldly, graciously, completely. And accept, allow, receive. And with this, let Snake know if you are grateful and why, and what your commitment around this, to the year of the snake, to the snake itself, to the snake that lives now inside of you, that you will do. Your commitment, remembering that what you do for yourself, you do for all of humanity. That's how big it is, how important you are. Beautiful. Have a moment with Snake as Snake tells you, I am here for you always. Call on me any time, anywhere, for my wisdom, my medicine. And Snake makes another circumference around you. And when it comes back to your front, it slithers off deep into the jungle once again. And with gratitude for all you have learned, gently bring yourself back with the breath, with knowing what is deeper on your path. and wriggle your fingers and toes, massage your face. So the serpent asks you, do you know that you can no longer remain where you are right now? Are you living life a certain way and you realize this way of life is not serving me? Maybe serving somebody else, but it's not serving me. Do you need to make a big change in your life, or are you currently in the midst of a big change? And finally, do you desire to change things in your life, but you're holding on? You know, it never ends well when we hold on, right? All it does, it messes up our energy. There's so much healing that needs to happen in that space. We've all been there, all of us. None of us are immune. And we learn a hard lesson doing that. And sometimes we never want to do that again. We want to just flow with life and what's right, period. So you can work with this beautiful snake at any time. It is here for you. And we're going to end the portion of the meditation, because there's more, with fox atuk. And this beautiful fox is very meaningful to me. This is another animal that really meant nothing in my space until it did. And atuk is all about abundance. It is bringing in, it is manifesting. But there's a big piece of how it manifests, and it's medicine for each of us, and that is, oh my, you want that big thing? Did you not know you're already that? Did you not know you can do that already? Did you not know that in some dimension, you're that and everything else? And do you realize that there are great orators and you're that? There are great singers and you're that. Everything you want to do exists and you are, since we're all one, already that. It gives you this staff of authority that is life-changing. So the beautiful fox is magical. The only time you see a fox is at dusk and at dawn. It opens portals. It works with fairies. It knows the underworld. And fox can slip in and out. It's very clever. It's very mischievous. And it's very determined. And how fox came into my life when I started working with the medicine of fox, I was aware of the medicine, but it took a very profound experience. So the first time that I was interviewed on Gaia TV, it's a beautiful experience. You know, they fly you out, they put you in a hotel, I have a driver, etc. And I'm in the hotel the day of, and I'm always, for these things, not for everything in my life, but these things that mean something to me and that I love, I am early. I am prepared, dressed, ready to go for hair and makeup, all of it. And I'm sitting in my hotel room and I realize, wow, my heart is going and I'm nervous. And I am not going to go on a TV set in that state because I know what that'll create. Oh, I've been a medium my whole life, not going to happen. So I thought, what do we have? Obviously, all my shamanic practices came into play, but I have just this much time before the driver comes, and so I immediately start to work with fox medicine. And so fox, in its divinity, shows up and tells me about my abundance. But at the very end, the fox hands me the staff and says, take this. And I took it. Now, you've done this in a million lifetimes. You have got this. You are this. Go. And I went, the driver picked me up, and I thought, okay, I'm going to look over my notes. Just let me do that. But the driver was so chatty. And I'm like, I'm trying to look at my notes. And it's a 15-minute drive, and I realized this is the reality. He's a chatty dude. He wants to connect. I'm going to surrender and just be in this experience exactly as it is, and I'm going to chat right back with him. And I let go of my notes. I got on set. And if you haven't seen it, please do. My second one is coming back out probably around May with George Nouri on Beyond Belief. So the second time they brought me out, it was just a couple of weeks ago. I'm in the same hotel, same exact hotel. I swear they didn't redecorate it. Every time I exit my hotel room and I look down the hall, there is a framed picture of a red fox. Every hallway. I went, my God, I didn't even have to do the meditation. The fox is showing up for me. Hello? Remember that, staff? I do. I was so grateful for that. And these are the ways they show up for us once we learn about this. And I will tell you also, I spoke last year in Glastonbury in England. And coming back, I made a stop in London. And it was the day to leave London. And staying in a hotel, taking our bags, our luggage, boom, 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 through the streets of London, and going to the train station, taking the train to the airport. And I just had this feeling, it's very city, London, very, very much a city. But they have these little parks that are in between the apartment buildings, the condos. And I just had this feeling, let's walk, even though it's really early in the morning, let's walk through this park. So there we are with the luggage walking through the park, and all of a sudden, woof, a fox comes out in the middle of London, and it crosses right in front, looks, and then keeps going. I know that fox was there to let me know. Good work where you just spoke, and there's more. And I'm here for the more. You're not alone on this ride. We are none of us alone when fox medicine is involved. So shall we do it? Great. So you know the routine. Uncross your fingers. This will be our last meditation. Uncross your hands and your feet and take a deep, deep breath. And allow yourself to submerge into a land that is safe for you, beautiful, maybe even surprises you, and where you feel at peace. And see this amazing environment. And while you are there, relaxing and being at one with everything around you. Something scurries, a little blur, and then suddenly it comes into view. Absolutely beautiful fox. The fox turns and sees you, happy that you have come, and the fox lets you know, I've been waiting for you. I am Atuk. And I've come to bring you wisdom and medicine. And the fox invites you in and has a little bit of fun with you because the fox is clever, the fox is mischievous. It wants to give you some fun and levity. Let it make you laugh and surprise you. Now that you and Fox have connected, bring up the big dream. Not that one, it's too small. The big dream, the one you're sure couldn't possibly never happen. How could it be me? Bring that up. And although the fox may not be inside of you, the fox sees everything. And so together, view this dream. What it could look like, feel like, be like. Why it's so meaningful. What you could do if and when that comes true. fox looks you in the eye, having viewed this beautiful dream, and you would never be given a dream if you were not also given the power to make it come true. And Fox says, "Do you trust me? Come with me. We have an adventure ahead of us." And Fox has a staff and points it in the other direction, and a portal opens. Magic. And the fox looks at you and says, "Come, follow." And the fox jumps through the portal to the other side, looking back and inviting, and without hesitation, you walk through the portal. And in this portal, in this shift of timeline, your dream is real. There was no effort, there was no change, no adjustment. It is. And you are in this life, living it. Feel the magic and all the tendrils of what this dream creation is, with Fox by your side. And Fox turns around and says to you, in the vast tapestry of existence, shamanism teaches us we are not alone, but we are deeply woven into the cosmic web of life. The wisdom of the shamans reveals that the earth is a sacred, sentient being pulsing with the same universal energy that flows through the stars and beyond. And when we walk the shamanic path, we open ourselves to the ancient voices of our ancestors, the whispered guidance of extraterrestrial allies who have long watched over our evolution. Together, they remind us we are star-born travelers, bridging dimensions and timelines, healers, not only of ourselves, but of worlds yet unseen. And as we drum, as we journey, as we flute into altered states, we traverse the realms of earth and cosmos met, unlocking ancient knowledge and future potential. And in this cosmic dance, we are celestial travelers. Our DNA is a roadmap. Our consciousness is a bridge between Earth and the cosmos. And the true wisdom lies not in the boundless, inexplicable spark of creation that connects us to all of existence. Fox says, let us be fearless explorers of the unknown, guided by the drumbeat of the universe, with hearts open to the teachings of both terrestrial and celestial beings. You, my friend, are the dreamer. You, my friend, are the dreamed, the healers of this earth and ambassadors to the stars, united in the sacred mission of awakening and transformation. You are already that. And in this beautiful timeline, Fox turns around with his staff and looks you in the eye and connects third eye to third eye and says again, you are already that. Welcome to your life, where you've always been meant to be. This is your new timeline. And to fortify this experience, here is your staff. And you accept this staff of your sovereignty, authority, knowingness, and commitment to your path and your life. And suddenly, Fox scurries away, turns around once to look at you lovingly with a wink, and off it goes. And you now have the staff to walk this path in this new timeline, in this abundance and creation of the dream that you have just dreamed into being. Know this, that you have boundaries, that you have unconditional loving service, that you are being healed. You have released old stories, and now you have invited the treasure that has always been meant to be yours. And welcome back, come back. Thank you for being on this journey. You guys are really beautiful to work with. I was doing energy work on you while this is happening. And so Fox asks all of us, where do you need to clear heaviness, stress, or fear? What dream have you not dared yet to manifest? What opportunity is begging for you to say yes? Because Fox is clever, adaptable, magical. Are you? And so going forward, this Fox is available to you. It's medicine, it's wisdom. In a moment, you can call on it and work with it. So for those of you who are curious about where did I come from, I'm not really sure galactically, what am I connected with, and are interested in what starseed am I have a free gift. There's the QR code, and here is the URL. If you want to take a picture of this, go ahead. And it's also at my website, debbiedachinger.com/starseed. Things that I do here at Conscious Life Expo, I mean, I've done a lot so far. I did the panel yesterday and a talk Friday and so forth. And today at 1:30 p.m. in the dedicated podcast room, for the first time ever at CLE, I am doing a live podcast, my Dare to Dream show. And I'm going to be doing an interview with Marilyn Gawaki, who channels Zazar. So you're welcome to come. You put on headphones. It's better if you come on time and probably not walk in the middle of the show, if you don't mind, because I don't know how that will sound in the recording, and it really does go out in a lot of platforms. And besides this, I offer programs. I think the best thing is sign up here or just sign up on my website. You get gifts everywhere you go, debbiedachinger.com, just spell it correctly. Everything is different. D-E-B-B-I, there's no E, D-E-B-B-I and D-A-C-H-I-N-G-E-R. And once you get in my list, as I roll out classes, you can be privy to them first. On February 12th, I am doing a free, $33 90-minute healing on Zoom. Never happens, but I am very aware of the energy right now and what humanity is wanting. And so there's a lot of people who have already signed up for this. You guys are welcome to come. It is my pleasure. And all you need to do is relax and sit back and receive. I'll be doing very different work on the group than what you received today. So that will be a 90-minute Zoom session. And then I'm doing a 5-week program after that, and it's going to include DNA, UFOs, extraterrestrial shamanism, where do they meet? It's going to be a lot of building community. I'm very excited for that. That's on a special right now, and that's $333. And again, best to go to my website, and then you'll get those newsletters. Chief Seattle said, if all the beasts were gone, men would die from a great loneliness of spirit. For whatever happens to the beast also happens to the man. All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons and the daughters of the earth. And it is true, we really are connected to the web of life. So I wanted to open this. We don't have a lot of time. If people have questions, I'm really happy to answer them now. Yes, please.
I don't think I've ever seen a fox in my life, but for the last like 2 months, I've been seeing it around my neighborhood. Actually got a picture of it like 3, 4, 5 times. So what should I do with that?
Oh my God, well, what a gift you just got today. What should you do with that? Yes, so when an animal reveals itself to that extent, you're seeing it and it's your neighborhood, and I imagine you're living in a city, it's very unique. And its medicine is saying, please pay attention. So you can take your version of what I just took you through. I would start working with it all the time. Keep bringing up your dreams, keep bringing up all the stuff you want to manifest, and work with it and hear its medicine. Yeah, I mean, what a powerful ally. Good for you. Yeah. Anyone else have a question? Yes.
I just had an observation about the snake. So it was surprising, which was great.
Yeah.
But the snake was bifurcated into two heads, two necks and heads, and the base was connected into one. And I kept looking at it and going, how do you shed? Because you get stuck when you shed. How do you shed? And they said you can't shed until you choose one of us. You need to choose. They each side looked different. One looked very, very male. One looked very feminine, like feminine medicine. So I'm like, this lifetime, I'm going to choose the feminine one. So then they separated, and the feminine came, and then the shedding happened.
Oh, you have a microphone. That's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, so she said that she had, in the meditation, she saw she saw a snake, and it was embedded at one on the base, but it went into two, and she was confused about how to allow it to shed its skin if there was two. And she was given the wisdom, well, you have to choose. There's a male, a masculine energy, and a female. Which one? And she said, in this lifetime, I'm going to choose the divine feminine. And then everything happened for you. It was able to...
It's separated. It's separated, and the female came and did the spinning around and allowed and showed me how to shed so that I could. It's like I was stuck with trying to be two things, and I needed to choose.
Is that true for you?
Yes.
Okay, so how beautiful that we get that kind of reflection, that she felt like, yeah, it's really true about my life. I'm stuck with two things, and I need to choose. And there's so much power in choosing. There's so much freedom. We stick ourselves a lot by going this or this or this or this. And when we let go and say, definitively done, here I am, trust me, the path will unfold perfectly. So, Bully, for you. Yes?
Just a quick question. Do you by chance know Daniel Giamario?
I do not. Okay, thank you. Okay. When I was on George's show, first time Beyond Belief, at the very end of the show, and I didn't know it till a friend pointed me out, she's like, did you hear what George said about you? Huh? No, I really didn't. I was quite in the moment. And so she very kindly made a recording of him from the show and sent it to me. And this is us together. This is actually the old set from last year, so if you guys watch the show, you know. And George said, it's amazing to have somebody with Debbie Dachinger's shamanic influence helping out humanity. Debbie, we need 1 million people running around like you, then what a planet we would have. And truly, that is exactly perfect wording why I do what I do. If I can influence 1 million people to start reconnecting with nature, to start living from your heart with compassion, taking care of ourselves, taking care of the planet, and the rest of humanity will follow. We need to do this kind of work. Some people call it shadow. There's a lot of things we can all clean up and align with instead. But this is truly the way to bring in the extraterrestrials. This is truly the way to heal the animals, the beautiful animals who give all the time, unconditionally to us for our lives, that also are begging for respect. They are here to teach us so much. So I would love each of you to be one of those 1 million people. This is the QR code for the upcoming 90-minute Zoom group healing that I'll be doing. And there's going to be a lot of different shamanic work that will involve my mesa, my cured stones, clearing, rewiring nervous systems, trauma release. I will tell you at the end, you will feel very blissed out, and I would ask you, please, don't set up something very active or a place to drive after. It would be really good to be in that space and solidify it, obviously have water, and be in a really good chair that can support you. That's all you need to do. I'll take care of the rest. And then for the free star seed gift and report, that QR code. And I just think I want to say you guys are on the path. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to work with you, to get to know you. And it is my mission right now to blend this UFO extraterrestrial shamanic information. There is such gold and wealth there about who we really are. And for today, they've made it very clear, the cosmos and the extraterrestrials have made it very clear to me, they are asking me to be a voice. So thank you for your support in my being a voice today and for coming on all these journeys. May you leave knowing you already have installed in you the wisdom of these animals. They are there for you. Aho.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If we could please exit the room, we need to get ready for the next workshop. If you are attending the next workshop, please exit and get in line. There's a platinum line and a ticket line, and we'll let you in when we are ready. Please take all your belongings with you.